silly squeak when I play the blues.
Ernie, keep you cool, I'll teach you how to blow the sax. I think I dig your problem, it's rubber and it quacks. You'll never find the skill you seek till you pay your dues. You gotta put down the ducky, put down the ducky, put down the ducky, yeah, you gotta leave the duck alone.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm going to play the saxophone.
Ducky,
Who's that guy? I like him.
put down the ducky.
It's a Muppet.
Probably one of the guys with the band, right? That's with Animal? From the Dr. Teeth?
Not from Dr. Teeth.
No?
No, this is like a blues jazz band.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's a puppet? It's not a human?
Muppet, yeah.
It's a Muppet. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Muppet band on Sesame Street, and Ernie is trying to play the saxophone, and they're like, hey, man, you got to put the rubber ducky down, because if you're a Sesame Street aficionado, of course, you recall that Ernie, quite fond of his rubber ducky.
I didn't
Right?
know,
You're the
maybe.
one, you make bath time so much fun. I'm awfully fond of you.
Sometimes they have adults on that show. And I didn't know if
Sometimes they do,
maybe they
right.
had like some blues
Right.
star
Understood.
teaching him.
I'm looking at it, but you're only hearing it.
Correct.
I gotcha.
And I like that guy's voice.
Rubber ducky, hey,
He's got that grumble. It sounds almost wet.
Yeah. Yes, I will have Stones tickets for you. Everybody's blowing me up about Stones tickets. About a half an hour from now, closer to 4:20, I will have the Rolling Stones tickets for you. Cavaliers tonight. Philly is in town. They can play the 76ers. Steve Mix and the Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight at the Romo Fijo. From Toledo, Ohio, remember Steve Mix? They called him the mayor.
Of Toledo?
No, they call him the mayor. He was on the 76ers back in the day.
The mayor of the
He's
court?
in like the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame.
The mayor of the court is the judge.
The mayor of the basketball court is Steve Mix.
Well, I'm just
Anyway,
saying.
Cavs Sixers tonight, 7 o'clock on MMS. You will get your pregame coverage beginning promptly at 6:30 when we get out of here. And if you need anything from CLE Clothing Company in the last few days of February, you can use the promo code HEART, H-E-A-R-T, because we passed Valentine's Day, but it's still good. So you get an extra day in February. You can use HEART. You get 20% off whatever you want to buy. If you want to shop online, you can use HEART there, CLEClothingco.com. If you listen to the show on iHeartRadio and you do that from out of state, tell me where you do that. I want to make sure that my bureau chief map is up to date. It's over Bill's shoulder there if you watch on the live stream. Every one of those push pins is a listener or a group of listeners in the United States and beyond. Throughout North America. That includes the United States of America, the United States of Canada, and the United States of Mexico. And the Canada of Mexico.
The Canada of Mexico.
The United Canada of Mexico.
I like that.
And there's probably, I'd say, I
10.
mean, probably 2-3 million pins on that board, right?
I counted them last night. There are 6.
Million.
No, 6.
Oh.
Nate listens in Tacoma, Washington. Kenny is out in Sherman Oaks, California. Miles and Laura are in Charleston, South Carolina. Doug is in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Brandon and Alex are in Davenport, Florida. Justin in Prairieville, Louisiana, and Quentin in Post Falls, Idaho. Thank you, one and all. You can call anytime on the Alan Cox Show after hours line, by the way, if you can't listen to the show live. That is 216-986-8903. Alan, I watched that Hired Gun documentary you recommended. Yeah, it's a great
Checked out that
documentary.
last night,
Yes,
yesterday.
Hired Gun. And it's also it's a kick in the ass for people who are aspiring musicians, because all these guys are like, when you're up on stage or you're with a big band, everybody thinks you're rich.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're up there. He's like, it ain't like that. You know, you're not the guy. Mm-hmm. You're the drummer in Billy Joel's band, but if he doesn't want you anymore, you're not the drummer in Billy Joel's band.
Well, I said that with opening for comedians when they're like, oh, this is a sold-out theater. There's 1,500 people here or whatever. And you're like, I'm making $150 to do this. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not the one taking the door deal, you know? It's
Well,
not,
and that's why if you are a band or if you're a comic, it might happen less for comedians, but for a lot of bands, it's kind of a red flag if someone offers a buy-on. Are buy-ons a thing where you pay to get attached to a comic or a band? They're like, hey, or like if an indie label or a booker goes, hey, there's a buy-on, we'll put you on you'll do a couple of shows with this band,
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of that with
$7,500.
comics.
Okay.
There's like bringer shows where you have to bring 10 comics with you, or you have to bring 10 audience members with you
Well, I
in
know
order
those,
to
but I mean,
perform. But that's maybe
I'm talking about like road work, though.
No, I don't think that there's any comic who would be like, you can pay me to open for me. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Right.
And if it is, don't do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Red flag
Yeah.
for bands, too, because there are some bands that were like, well, this guy goes, there's a buy-on. If we want to, we'll do 5 shows with Megadeth.
And you'll
but
get merch
$7,500.
sales and yada,
Or
yada, yada.
maybe
Yeah.
not. Because even for bands, like you were talking, how your thing last night in front of that YouTube guy didn't go so well for you. There's a lot of bands where people who go to see them are like, I didn't come to see you. I came to see Megadeth.
Or they don't even show up on time. I know that's a really popular thing when it comes to music is that, the headliner goes on at 9:30. I'm getting there at 9:30.
People ask me that all the time.
That
They'll
it's
be like,
from music.
From music, they'll be like, yeah, but what time do you go on? The
And
show
I'm like-
starts at 9. Be there at 9.
Well, and that's the difference between comedy and music, and that is that our shows are only 90 minutes long, like 2 hours at the very, very most, but a lot of times it's shorter than that, somewhere between 70 and 90 minutes. So I tell people, I'm like, just get there on time. It's not like a concert that's the opening band goes on at 6 and the headliner doesn't go on until 11. Like, it's not like that.
Get settled in, get a drink, get
Yeah.
a
standing
appetizer.
in the beer line, buying a T-shirt while the opening band's playing.
Yeah.
Alan, I am yanking a tank in Point of Rocks, Wyoming. I'm taking a load of hydraulic fluid to a coal mine.
I thought he meant he was tossing off.
I did too. I was
Yanking
like,
a tank. I was like, ooh, that's a new one.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
that's what I
yank my man's thing when I get home and blast off that cannon.
takes okay.
I'm yanking a tank.
Congrats
a load
on
of
being a
hydraulic
tank.
fluid to a coal mine. That is like a real job.
That's a real, tank mechanic. There's a
Holy
show
cow.
on Netflix right now, and it's called Love is Blind. And one of the
You and
people
these
on
trashy
it,
TV
they're
shows.
so fun.
You're
They're
done.
so fun.
You're getting
It's
But when
so
I watch
bad.
Mob Wives, I'm trashy.
He's getting
Yeah, I'm
roped in.
embracing it, man. It's trash TV, but it's really fun.
I watch 1,000-Pound Sisters.
And I've heard of that one too.
It's really good.
Man. But this girl's job on the show is ex-tank mechanic.
Good
No
for
other
her.
job. And then, like, as you get to know her, you're like, oh, she's just a mess of a person.
An
and that's
ex-tank
only,
mechanic.
Yeah,
And what did
she's-
that entail? What this person says they're doing?
I don't know.
Tank
I don't,
mechanic?
I don't think she had the job for very long.
Oh, like a
because-
military tank, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Oh, I see.
I think she's bounced around a lot of her life. And, like, that's kind of the fun part of the show is, like, now they're past the honeymoon. Like, this week is the weddings. On Thursday, they're all getting married. And it's so fun.
People
it's
have
so
to get
fun.
paid to do this, right?
Yeah, they're on a television show.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's all fake, but it's fun to watch the drama unfold because
Are they
some of
legally
them-
married, do you think?
I
Like
think
they
so.
actually have to go through an annulment or a divorce or something?
I think they would. Yeah,
This is where they get married without ever having seen each other
like
before?
3 months or
like
something?
they get engaged before having seen each other. So
they took 90
go-
Day Fiancé and they said, you know what? That's too much time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pull it all the way back where they're going to get engaged before they see each other.
Yeah, so they just they put everyone in these pods and they go on like dates where they just talk with someone until they see how they connect with that person, and then they can see that person several times over a course of like a week.
This is on Netflix?
Yeah, and then they like if they feel a connection with that person, they can ask them to get married.
This
And
is
then
the one where they're stuck in those cubes? Where they
Yeah.
can't
Well,
go
that's where
outside?
they date,
Yeah.
though.
What's
they don't
But that's
live
what
in
they did,
them.
but then they get to go on like a honeymoon kind of thing, but like they're like a vacation where they go to Mexico, but then they're with all the other people that they were dating. It's great. It's
like the
real.
Hunger Games.
What is
It's so good.
I do have a question, though. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but it might be a legal question. What's the expiration date for an annulment? Like, is an annulment the first 3 months?
I think it's just.
Because I mean, I have a friend that was married and he was divorced within, I want to say, 6 weeks. And it's a race. Like, it's not even a divorce. It's an annulment, and it's like it never happened. It's
I
not
thought
on the books.
an annulment was more of like when you guys already agreed on a whole bunch.
No,
like
that-
there was no paper. It was just like, hey, we don't want to be married
No,
anymore.
An annulment.
That's a disillusionment.
Disillusion.
An annulment's like the paperwork didn't go through. Like
I don't know.
An annulment is basically
permanent.
like it never happened. Like a divorce is a dissolution of the marriage where the two people are like, we're splitting up, we're not married anymore legally. An annulment it's mostly religious, but I guess it's also legal.
That's an expiration date, right? Like
I don't know about that. An annulment is basically like
you can't get an
the
annulment.
wedding never happened.
But you can't get an annulment after like 20 years of marriage.
I think you can get an annulment when it's.
Why wouldn't people do that then?
I think people, like religious people, will go for an annulment rather than a divorce because they don't technically want to be divorced.
Yeah,
So they
I
have
lied to
get
my
that-
grandmother before she died and told her that I got
that
my
makes
first
sense.
marriage annulled because she would write me letters because she's like, I love Gwen, I'm so happy for you guys, but please get your first marriage. And I'm like, I'm not even doing like the Catholic thing anymore.
Yeah.
So I lied to my dear departed grandmother and said that I got it annulled because I'm like, I'm not gonna. As far as a church goes, it's a way to get $100 out of you or whatever. And I go, well, we'll pretend like it never happened.
I
And if
swore.
you have kids, like I don't want to pretend like my first marriage didn't happen because we have kids.
Yeah, it's weird.
And neither one of
It's
us
weird.
care.
It's a weird thing
We
to
got
do.
divorced. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought an annulment was like, say you made a mistake and we're drunk in Vegas and got married. I thought it was
well,
because
that is too. You can do that too.
I thought it was because like the ink still isn't dry yet, or like the paperwork is still processing. I thought that was an annulment. I didn't know you could get an annulment.
So probably my guess is this: legally, there is a time frame where you can get a marriage annulled, but I'm
I
guessing
have it
with
right here.
like the Catholic Church,
There's no time
they'll-
frame.
They'll
No.
do it anytime.
Wow.
Okay.
So a divorce ends a legally valid marriage, whereas an annulment erases the marriage, saying that the union was never legally valid.
How do you do that? Say that you're like drugged the whole time?
I don't know. I think this is what you're talking about. We were drunk in Vegas.
If she was too young to sign a prenuptial agreement,
But also,
How do you prove that, though?
You don't need a reason. You go
don't.
here's $140, and in a half an hour you get your marriage annulled.
But that's what I'm saying. If it was
I'm
that
sure that
easy,
I'm sure that is its own ecosystem in Las Vegas. I'm
Yeah.
sure that
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's like check cashing places where you can get an annulment
Oh,
in
yeah.
half an hour.
like I'll marry you for half an hour. I would do that with my friend. Like, all right, let's get married and then let's get annulled. Just to say we got married in Vegas and we got divorced in Vegas the very next day.
Just to say you
annulment-
got married in Vegas.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be fun.
But you could tell everybody you got married in Vegas and
Nobody would know.
have it
yeah.
not be true.
But I would want the experience. Like, I'll never get a chance to.
So this says a
That's me pulling
divorce is sought when both parties acknowledge the marriage existed. An annulment is sought out when one or both of the spouses believe that there was something legally invalid about the marriage in the first place.
My state of mind was not right. I never
that,
married
or
you.
you're in some janky place where you're like, I don't even know if this guy's like ordained. Like,
I
don't
never
think this
married
is-
you, bro. That's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, bro, I was never married, so therefore I can't pay you this
Well,
alimony.
listen, Poundcake, you're going to say no to the engagement, so it doesn't matter. You're never going to get either.
What
my
are you
first,
worried about?
my first engagement.
Your first engagement, no matter who it's with, you're saying no, and then you're going to get you're debating if you want an annulment on your second.
What if you pop the question on your second? And the answer is
I'm not
no.
gonna pop the question. My spouse, my soon-to-be spouse, would know that I want to be proposed to. Like he.
But what if you're so in love you can't hold it back anymore? Your feelings and your emotions take over.
What if you just want to
My pride is
spray
the
your
heart.
emotions all over the place? You what?
oh, spray them.
My pride is more important to me.
Your pride is more important than love?
So you're saying your
You're gonna die
pride?
alone.
I know.
Yes, he is.
I know.
You're saying
Okay.
that in a situation, this hypothetical engagement,
Mm-hmm.
your pride is more important than your partner's feelings.
Correct.
And his own.
All right.
Yeah. No.
Well, no,
I,
the
Love in
pride.
general.
The pride is his overarching feeling.
I've always
here.
had a dream of being proposed to. That's always how I imagined it in my mind. When I made a promise to myself that when I decided not to be straight, I'm like, all right, well, if I'm gonna be gay, I'm gonna be gay my way. Like, and I'm gonna get what I want out of this. Otherwise,
Old
I can
and
just,
alone.
I can
Okay.
just be straight. I can just be straight if I want to propose to and spend a bunch of money on a ring and pour my feelings out. I'm insecure. I'm gay and I'm tired and I want to be proposed to.
Okay.
That's
I'm
what I
gay
want.
and I'm tired and I want to be proposed to.
Yeah, and insecure. And I want to be proposed to. I want you to confess your love to me publicly. I want a goddamn blimp.
Blimp.
Yes.
He wants to marry a fat guy.
Yeah. Well, eating a blimpy sandwich. I get it.
You know what they say in the good book?
What?
Pride cometh before the autumn.
Oh. Summer pride. Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
So-
is that why Pride Month is in June? Because
Yes.
it cometh before autumn?
Pride cometh before the fall.
You know what's funny
Yes.
The gays are just going by the Bible.
That's right, of course. Don't ever levy the anti-God thing against gays again, all right? They're adhering to the book of Proverbs.
I asked my friend, I was like, when is Columbus Pride this year? Because we're getting a house, so I wanted to know the weekend so I can make my arrangements. And he's like, oh, it's Father's Day weekend. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of...
That's ironic.
Because there's a lot of daddies.
Well, no, I was like, it's a bunch of queens with like daddy issues. Like everyone there is meeting in one spot.
You go there to find a daddy.
Yeah,
Hi, sir. I don't have a father. Will you be
like,
my daddy?
Instead of these people being home with their father celebrating Father's Day, they're out getting a train ran. I was like, Jesus. I'm just saying.
I know.
And we have a house in Columbus, so I was like, wow, Father's Day weekend. I'm glad I have nothing planned for that weekend, so I'm super excited.
Well, so some people are telling me in Ohio you can file for an annulment up to 7 years. A couple other people said 2. But again, if you Google it, it must be different state by state. But if you Google it, it says there's no time limit.
I thought that was so. I mean, my friend was in the military, so when he told me he got married, I was like, okay, I'm no shocker there. You got married, but. And then next time I talked to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm divorced." I was like, "What do you mean you're divorced?" He's like, "Well,
that happens a lot
really
in the military, though."
But he was like, "Not really divorced. We got to know it." I was like, "So does she get part of your pension? Like how much you got to pay her?" He's like, "Oh no. She cheated on me. She cheated on me, and they don't take too kindly to that in the military, and I got it erased. It's like it never happened." I'm like, white people are amazing. I was like, you can just forget about that.
White people thing.
But I didn't know what an annulment was.
Thing.
I didn't know. I was like, man, that's awesome.
White people are amazing.
Because I was like, you just get it erased?
I mean, we are. But B, yeah, but anyone can do that.
I was like, how many people would love to get their ex-wife erased? Like, I don't have to pay annulment, no child support.
You don't erase the person.
But you also have to get the other person to agree to it, too.
Can I get annulled to my kids?
They turn 18 and you're done.
But before that, I want to annul them now.
That's called
forget like it never happened.
No,
that's what your dad did to you.
No. When you divorce your parents, emancipation.
Emancipation. Drew Barrymore did it famously back in the day.
You have to be, 16 or something?
Varies by state.
Huh.
Divorce your parents.
I used to say that to my mom.
Who will pay my
You're going to emancipate yourself from your parents?
I can't wait till I grow up and I can leave.
Everybody says that, and the parents go, fine, go ahead. See how much fun you have out there.
Yeah,
with a bindle on your shoulder.
I started working at American Eagle, and I was like, I make my own money. It's like $7 an hour.
Make my own money.
I don't ask you for a thing.
Go see how much rent is.
Yeah, right.
See how far that's
going.
I didn't pay one bill.
I'll never forget when I got a $73 paycheck from Hollister.
Dude, when I got my first paycheck, I was like, I'm rich. I'm so rich.
$73.
Well, because it's the first time you earn your own. This is my money. This money is whatever I want to do with it.
But it was gone in a weekend.
Of course it was.
I mean, between $20 in gas and then, $30 in beer, and then whatever I buy at the club.
$30 in beer.
Yeah, stupid.
Because you got to pay the older brother fee. He's like, I'll get you the case of beer, the Natty Light, the 30-pack. That's $11.
He'll charge interest.
But you owe me $25.
When I was waiting tables, I always had a huge wad of cash. Anybody working in the service industry, you always have a huge wad of cash, which can be, it's very illusory. Because it's like, you've got to make sure you're taking that to the bank on the regular. And it's not like I wasn't party guy. I wasn't drinking or anything like that. But still, you're walking around with a big wad of money from tips. And,
I said that when
it's different than just getting a paycheck and putting it in.
Well, when I started working here, I was so used, and still to this day, I'm so used to using cash. I will go take money out of the bank on payday. Because I'm like, I operate better with money. I can budget myself better
when
because
you see it going out of your hands.
When it's gone, it's like, okay, I take out whatever $200 for this week. That's what I can spend this week, and then I have that $200. And when it's gone, it's like, okay, well, that's the end of your budget. There's no more because you live your life doing that for so long. That's how my brain's wired. With a debit card, man, I'll swipe till that thing gets rejected.
I opened up my purse and moths came out.
See, I'm the exact opposite, where I know what I'm spending with my debit card, but when I'm spending cash, I'm like, look at all this cash I got. Get it out of here. You got some cash in my hand. You want some? Take it.
Take it. Here's
burning
$5.
a hole in your pocket.
Yeah. Thanks for smiling today. Here's
a lot
$5.
of people, by the way, who are texting me are confused by the whole pride thing, Poundcake.
What you mean?
The proposal.
What proposal?
You said my pride is more important.
Yeah.
They're curious of what you have to be proud.
My pride, as in I've always imagined the man of my dreams proposing to me, and I say yes.
That's not pride, though. That's an aspiration. That's like a dream.
Yes, but like my pride won't allow me to, even if I did love him and he was my dream guy, if he's not going to pop the question, I'd rather not get married if he doesn't pop the question.
So you're saying that you're saying that it's not really pride. You're saying that you are inflexible.
Okay, but I thought that was more so pride. Like my pride will not allow me to propose to you because my pride wants me to propose, like you to propose to me.
You want to be asked. You don't.
I want to be asked.
But that saying that's your pride implies that
really
you
a
think
pride.
it's like a weaker thing.
That's your
to
ego.
Be the one who
pride
proposes.
is derived from accomplishments. You're talking about your ego, not your pride.
Sure, my ego. I think. Okay. Then I got
I think
it wrong
that's where
then.
the confusion lies.
Unless you have a bunch of lions and they're the ones forcing the guy to propose, that could be your pride. No.
Do you have a bunch of lions?
No.
Okay.
All right then. Ego.
So
My pride kept me
you
from
tried.
laughing at your joke, by the way.
That's fine. Your lions or your. Okay. All right. We're done with that.
Bill's cosplaying as a 22-year-old girl from Hilarities last
fine.
night.
Nailed
All right,
it.
gotcha.
I really like your hair, your highlights.
Oh my God. We know Nick, but like, could you get us over there? Sure.
I like that. Could you get us over there?
We know
20
him.
feet in that direction? Could I get you? You should have just walked him over to whatever
I
the end of the
wasn't.
line was.
I was just
You know what? I
annoyed.
will absolutely get you over there.
you
Here you
should-
go.
I can't get you into VIP. And they're like, well, no, like we wanted to talk. You didn't want to
You
talk
should
to
have
me.
pointed to a stranger like that guy right there. He has all the connections. That's like the guy's other brother.
Like, sick him on ass.
Yeah, and then he would be like just pick the ugliest dude at the bar, and he'd be like, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" And they're like, "We heard that you have a backstage pass."
We know what you know.
You just get him to the VIP. You don't get him in the VIP. You go,
Right.
here you are.
And then
This
leave.
is the VIP
There
rope.
it is.
Good
See?
luck.
Have fun.
You gals are young and attractive. I'm sure you'll figure out a way to get in there.
It was also, I think, the first time I've ever had anybody try to work that on me. Like, because I feel like, guys, you guys are probably pretty familiar with that. Like, if a woman comes up trying to get a free drink or something like that, I've never had anybody come up to me and try to schmooze me into something free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was a very strange feeling.
Well, you can't say that anymore.
No.
Now it's happened.
I have been used.
Now your radar is tweaked. Okay, I'm going to have those Rolling Stones tickets for you after this break. They are playing First Energy Stadium in Cleveland for the first time in a long time on the No Filter Tour. That is June 19th. So if you want to go, hook up here in minutes. 35192 to shoot me a text or get to us at alancoxshow.com.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. From the MGM Northfield